NCRP Productions presents Dishonored by Modifius Games. Run as always by Michael and played by Sequoia, Ty, Pedro, and myself. On with episode 13.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, in the past, present, or future, wherever and whenever you are. My name is Michael, and I'm the DM running the Dishonored role-playing game adventure, The Oil Trail, or the Two-Toed Rebellion, whatever you look at. Whatever you wish to call it. Let's introduce our players, and we'll get right back into where we left off. Let's start with Ty.
Hey, it's Ty. I'm running Angus Fallon, who's currently crumpled up against the wall, crying his eyes out. But I'm our local miscreant, and I'll pass it on to Barry.
Hi, this is Barry. I'm running Desmond Aquila. I'm running our resident explorer.
Hey, all, this is Pedro. I'm running Norton. He also has his head spinning a little bit with some rather strange revelations, I guess it would be. And I'm the inventor.
Hi, this is Sequoia, and I'm playing Phineas Talbot, our courier. He's alright.
He's fine.
He's always all
The
right.
only one
I think Finney is the most stable member of the group. The real moral center.
Right, the only one
Well,
unfazed.
Finney got to jump in halfway through this. We had to go to prison. We had to run through sewers.
Finney's never had to eat anyone's toes.
Had is a really strong word.
Yeah, did you will?
That is a great question.
Have you-
Thank you for asking.
Have you truly been living?
We've seen some stuff, man.
Would you like to live deliciously? Nibble upon the nubs of I'm sorry, I can't finish that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Yes, please, I'll take the toes. Waiter, I will take the toes, please.
Perfectly honest, I don't know if I'd eat another person's toes. I think it would have to be Jimmy's toes.
Yeah, I mean, you have more of Jimmy's toes.
It's all I want, and I'm going to get monetized if I keep going. But anyway, demonetized. Anyway, so we're back to that revelations that have been had. The now scattered documents, thanks to Angus's
Mental breakdown.
Tantrum.
tantrum's a word for it. Mars the overall effect of the face of the outsider from the drawings, but there are still aspects of it that you can see still parts of where it was the jawline or some part of the hair where the neckline was, but otherwise it's completely ruined. You'd have to redo it again. Not that well. Some of you might not be interested in doing that, but right now there's more important matters at hand. Some certain dark revelations have been made now that everything's all on the table and decisions are being made about where are we going to go from here. How are we going to take this rebellion forward? Are we actually going to take over the Greaves Lighting Company? Are we not? If anything, there are things that, depending, might be of more immediate need. After all, we still have two gangs to have to try to get together under one banner. But let's just pick up where we left off and see where we go from there.
yeah, in the echo of Angus's words, we are all outsiders. That really resonates with Finney, and at this point he is bundled back into his scarf and his coat, and the witch's hand is, firmly under the garments.
Thank God.
But this is probably the happiest he's been in years, if not even maybe decades. This is exactly the kind of situation, the chaos, the secrets being revealed, that he thrives on. So he's grinning like a jack-o'-lantern at this point.
Yeah. Norton's just kind of... His head's spinning a little bit, but honestly, at this point, he's just coming to terms with the fact that this outsider has been clearly watching him or guiding him or whatever for years now, during possibly an entire rebellion or an insurrection. And he's just like, all right, well, maybe we need to give him a show. Let's just, regardless of whether he's watching over us or not, we just need to keep moving forward. So, on with the rebellion.
For Desmond, it's the fact that he's traveled all over. He's seen so many different guises for the one they're calling the Outsider. It becomes a level of disbelief as everyone takes in God in a different way, whatever you want to call it. And so for him, more than anything else, it's the focus on continuing the rebellion. I didn't start in the rebellion, but got pulled into it. And at the point when I committed what I did to be part of it, I want to move forward with it. So anything that comes to the aid of increasing the rebellion's chances, I'm going to be a part of. So right now, I'm pretty calm and kind of smiling at this.
Well, as Angus is slowly getting hold of himself, he stands up and I don't know how you guys feel about all this, but if you'll have me, I'll fight.
I don't plan to kick you out, Angus. You've been a part of this for long enough.
The fact that you're not Morleyan doesn't bug me.
Hey, he's half Morleyan. You still got some blood in you. But you know what? Even if you weren't full Morleyan, you showed that you're a part of the rebellion. So you're fine with me. And if you were going to betray us, or you would have done it by now anyway.
Plus, you got to remember there's a little bit of Jimmy in all of us, so.
Yeah.
We share that common bond.
Oh, God. Do I have to come up with a new truth now? Erase the Forged in Rebellion and just put the truth.
Bon appetit.
No. No. Anyway.
A little piece of Jimmy.
In all of us.
Forged in Jimmy.
Forged in Jimmy.
You nasty. Y'all are nasty.
Well, if anyone felt the heat from Jimmy, it's Desmond over there.
Absolutely.
Oh boy, literally forged in Jimmy. Oh boy.
They were the two that had to go and poke the whale bladder.
Good man.
Poor Jimmy. Anyway, sorry. Don't let me interrupt. Keep going.
Well, then I say tomorrow we get this gun run underway, and then after that, we talk to the gang, set a meeting, and start raising that banner.
Well, to get the gun run going, we're going to need the money, which means we need to meet with the leader again.
The Falcon.
Yes.
The Falcon.
Which is already set up to meet at tomorrow night at Street.
Yeah. Barrel guy set it up.
Reynard did?
Yeah.
Quick.
Is that his name?
Reynard is his actual name.
Thomas Reynard.
Thomas, yeah, I thought it was Tom something.
Okay.
I mean, really forgettable, honestly. It's you've beaten him up. He has two black eyes. He was tossed in a barrel.
If he had beaten you, maybe I would have remembered it.
Yeah, he seems kind of like a pushover in the grand scheme of things.
Really just a pitiful, pitiful creature.
It's almost like he doesn't have protagonist powers, but anyway.
It's almost like he doesn't have any void points.
He has truly no plot armor whatsoever.
So I guess the question for me is there something that we plan? Or do we try and get some sleep and leave ourselves well rested for tomorrow's activities?
I kind of got the idea that winging it was your guys' version of a plan.
It's your plan too, so I wouldn't.
How did Vinny find that out?
My plan was excellently crafted from the start to the finish.
That's true. Vinny had literally no problems getting into the place where he pulled the plans from, right?
I
That's
figured
also a true statement. So okay.
I figured that we would go to the meeting, get the money, and then we'd come with Vinny for a plan. But I mean, I'm thinking about it. The shipment seems like it should be pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
We're going to start off with the wagon, so we need to figure out which checkpoints we're going to be going through and make sure they don't actually look underneath the cover and reveal, well, an arsenal.
We've already done that successfully.
Yeah, I wasn't really
Yeah.
I don't really have any worry.
Well.
It's getting the money and getting Faulkenheimer to trust us with it. So
Don't call him Faulkenheimer.
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 We'll let Eel Puncher here do a bit of the talking and jump in if needed.
Okay.
Well, you guys are pretty much the brains of this operation. He's gonna know me obviously because I kicked the ass of his champion, which reminds me, I probably need to go back there and defend my title. But that's adventure for another time.
There's always the fights later on.
Well, in that case, then I think it's to the barn and rest.
Back.
Yeah, get as
Back to
much
resting.
sleep as we can.
I'm gonna pick up in here for just a minute and then get my notes back in.
All right, gents.
Yeah.
Good night.
Sorry about that. Kind of lost it there for a second.
It's all right. Sorry, I'll put my hand on your shoulder.
And I'll head up the stairs.
It's all right.
All right, I'll head back to my bunk too, or cot, or whatever we have.
The way we're kind of understanding it as we're re-examining it is horse stall.
That's also reasonable.
Yeah. So I mean, I just spent time kind of putting it all together, and honestly, kind of every page just looking at it, like baffled that I drew these little markings that I don't have. I don't feel like I would have much of a memory of drawing like all these hard set lines and everything, but I'm a doodler.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it all away. Finny, are you just chilling while I'm cleaning?
Oh no, I left before you guys did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and Finny, Finny.
How does he do that?
I'd like to creep up into the hayloft nearest to where these two sleep.
Oh God, here we go again.
What's
Well,
the dis?
it's a little bit of a tight squeeze because there's a young girl up.
Right, and she's already there.
What's the
It's
distance
my
to the
turn
whale
to
song?
watch them.
She just skitters back away. I'm just kidding. No.
Then he just like hisses at her, like
Spider, two cats up in the raft.
exactly. Yeah.
I do like the idea of her just like bones cracking and her just spidering out of it.
Yeah, then he like bends backwards and like exorcist runs towards her.
And it's the true creep off battle.
But yeah, I would like to perch up there. I'm not hiding. I'm just want to be near.
Not hiding.
Yeah.
Do a lamp up there too.
But I mean, if you look, I'm sitting there.
I don't see any reason why I would look up in the barn. So
That's my thing.
Nobody ever does.
I mean, yeah, even I would be coming in late unless you made noise. I would lay down and I don't even know. Maybe if I stared up, just kind of quiet, like just try to fall asleep. But I mean, even then,
Yeah, nobody ever looks up.
I don't think it would do anything. It'd be
Well,
like,
as soon as I lay down and look up.
yeah, well, does your particular horse stall have a roof? Because
Why do you
I'm
get a
sure
roof?
mine does.
I don't think that's how horse stalls work.
Well, if you're looking at the second level as a hay barn, it would be
oh, okay.
covered.
I can see that. Okay.
And if not, that's going to be
Angus.
weird. Finney's going to be.
What's the range of the whale song? Because if I hear the whale song, I'm gonna know.
5 to 7 feet, and I'm probably 10 feet above you at this point.
You have a little Finny detector.
You do. It's foiled quite a few plans.
Hey, Finny. So you're not gonna go back to your place tonight?
Sleep well, sweet prince. He does not actually say that.
All right. Well, good night, Finny.
It's like I don't sleep, I dream.
Ooh. Oh man! All right, so the next day.
Yep. And for your drinks, relatively uneventful. Maybe you have a weird dream or so. It's up to you. Nothing that I'm interjecting.
Nothing outsider related.
Anyway, so the next day comes round. Finny, you probably went to sleep at some point. Maybe. Allegedly. You just
I don't
watched
think
them.
so.
Passed out, arms hanging down.
Can I use one of my void points to interject that he can go a couple days without sleeping?
Sure, we'll go with that. Okay. Is it the obsession grows.
I can smell a win here, and I'm not gonna miss it. But so yeah, I mean, once they all start stirring, he's gonna kind of drop down like onto Angus's cot and then not step on.
That's a gun! Vinny! That's uncalled for!
I'm not gonna step on him, but I will use him as kind of a landing zone. And I'll say, what's for eats around here?
Potatoes? It's usually potatoes, right?
Yeah, hi Finny. How'd you get here so quickly?
He was on the roof.
You slept on the roof?
You were on the roof?
In the roof might be more accurate. Also,
It's
I don't
the,
sleep, I dream.
Scaffolding? I think it's called, rafters. There we go.
Okay, well then you know what? We're just gonna move on. Let's go get.
Let's just ignore that.
That's the least weird thing that I've seen in the last 24 hours. So
True.
Vinny is moving up my creep factor, that's for darn sure.
Potatoes are just not gonna work for me. I'm gonna go find Marika.
She's the one cooking the potatoes.
Yeah, I'm gonna see about that.
The potato sandwiches. She made the wheat into bread, sliced the bread, put the potatoes in the bread.
Baked potatoes, mashed
Yeah, I
potatoes.
do want to actually go speak with Marika.
Well, now that there's an abundance of food storage and stuff like that, funds are able to go to some other slight areas, and it seems someone has brought a fresh shipment of eggs.
I love eggs!
So there are actually some eggs being cracked with the potato toast today.
Potato toast.
this is beautiful.
Eggs.
Basically, I'll go in the kitchen.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like, I don't feel like I've stopped to speak to Marika since kind of before this all started, picking up speed. Yeah, spiraling.
Which was, what, 2 days ago?
Yeah, essentially.
Spiraling to success.
I think it's been a few more than estimate.
Has
I
it
think
been?
a week. I think it's been about a week.
Okay.
Well, maybe not that long. I don't know. Saturday was the fights.
Yeah. And I talked to her the day after the fights and then not again.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Time's so weird. Anyway, I'll have to really look at the notes. Anyway.
So, I'll come in and I'll see her and I'll say, "Oh, hey, boss lady, how's it been going?"
Oh, Finny, good to see you. What brings you here this morning?
I was hoping to steal a little bit of your food for the morning.
And she goes like, "Well, we have eggs this morning. We have potato toast."
If you have some molasses, I can go for the potato toast, all right?
No molasses, but for you, I have butter.
I'll take it. And then I'll kind of hop up on the counter next to her, and as I'm kind of eating and stuff in my face, and I'm going to say, there's a potential for us to be handling some pretty big funds tonight. Have they spoken to you at all about their plans?
You know, they've been very proactive with helping us Morleyans. I had suspicions they had some other plans, but I'm not privy to that.
I feel like Marika and I have an understanding that if it is important, I'll tell her. I'm going to move beyond this point once I learn that they haven't shared anything with her. And so what I'm going to say next is there a place near, and I'm going to say the headquarters of Faulkenheimer where we're meeting them. Is there a place near there that you would consider safe territory?
She sort of thinks for a moment it's best not to be in that part of the town anyway.
This is true. At least not for yourself.
Safest territory would be not in there.
But, needs are as needs must. If you were to hunker down over there, where would you go?
If it was an absolute need to make sure no one was to find us in there as we had to move around the city. There's a storehouse, usually filled with machines, new parts. they tend to move product constantly through there, but at night, no one tends to be around, and they, as far as I know, last time I checked, there's a grate that you can move
From underneath?
from underneath.
Through the sewers?
Not quite the sewers. There's a drainage gap. It's a very tight squeeze. But I think you might be able to slip in. I wouldn't be able to say for sure on the others.
Understood. I find your new, I guess I'll call them patrons, acceptable. Better than the last group you had me with.
Well, I know you don't get always to choose the people you work with, Finney, unless it's depends on the amount of coin.
Mm-hmm.
But I am intrigued. The job you were being paid for has passed, and you're still going along with them.
I find that these three gentlemen might have connections to an earlier issue, one that I have not spoken with you as much about, but I am certain you have an inkling. I have no doubts that you've cast a net into my past.
Honestly, it's not my business on people's pasts. More important is what they've done for me, my people, where they go with the future.
I'll kind of pick up like my, I don't know, is there coffee in this world?
Yes.
I'll pick up my coffee cup and I'll kind of toast her and I'll say, you know, to more fortuitous adventures in our future, Marika. And then I'll skedaddle.
Whether you three, anything we should discuss at breakfast, or are we going to skip to the workday?
Nope, just gonna eat, get ready to go.
I mean, I imagine after that night, I'd be pretty silent, contemplating and just getting ready for work and thinking about tonight.
As you're just sort of like poking around, you probably haven't even touched your eggs.
No.
As you get up, little girl grabs your plate and runs off.
Oh, man. You know what? It's fine. She's a child. She may or may not be Morleyan. I don't know. It's kind of hard to read. Usually you can tell with the eyes, but those...
She has none.
Damn creepy child.
How she gets up there so quickly, I don't know.
I guess war changes people.
Yeah, it does.
That it does. To work, gents.
To work.
Work.
Twig.
Check that I have...
Ah, jeez, where'd you come from?
Yeah,
You need to stop sneaking around all the time, Vinny, please.
No can do, bud.
Okay, fine.
it's pretty impressive. Alright, yeah. I'll make sure I have my gun on me.
Okay. Luckily, they haven't done any real pat downs at the factory.
Nope.
I'd like to see them try. Click.
Oh yeah, the deep
You know what these bullets are made out of? Whale.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll take this whole place sky high with one bullet. The payload goes from little matchstick all the way up to... Well, there's no nukes in this place yet, but...
Well, it is a whale oil
Yeah.
refinement factory,
Exactly.
Probably
so...
the closest to a nuke you're gonna find.
Yeah. Pointed at the whale bladder. Nobody move.
That's how we take it. That's how we take the...
Come in with 11 whale batters strapped to our bodies. Open the jacket.
Sign the
Oh,
papers,
boy.
Greaves.
It's just like, because those bladders are like freaking huge, you just like... It's like...
You would have to put somebody on a cart, not move at all as you're strapped to you, and have somebody wheel you in there nice and careful like.
Oh,
Why did
boy.
you even wear the jacket? There's no point to it at this point.
Too late now! But instead of that, we just, I think, have a normal day at work.
Yep, it is a relatively normal day at work. course, when it comes to more on the on those that are having a harder time at the work environment, the older members, it's very clear with the constant work, constant unforgiving hours, like 12-hour work days, and like the only real break you're getting is a lunch break, and it's like, you know, maybe more of a courtesy at this point than anything. It's really taking its toll on the older members.
I still want to make sure that if I pass somebody that's in need, I help. It doesn't matter to me what colors they're wearing.
Yep. There is unfortunately one point where there is a scream. You guys aren't there. Unfortunately, it's further up the line, and you don't see what happens. But it does stop production for about maybe 10 minutes before everyone goes back to work. But you hear it on the line. Young girl on the line slipped, caught her hand in one of the machineries, and they've rushed her off to a doctor, but they don't have much hope for the hand.
I'll ask her name. You don't have to come up with one, but I just want to make sure I know who it is.
Gotcha. Yeah. Thank you for telling me I don't have to come up with a name.
So, don't worry. It's just. So.
Otherwise, I'm going to have that fun little moment of going, yeah, what's an appropriate name?
Female NPC number 3.
Fiona. Right. Michael, you've had Fiona for like 3 other characters already. Yes.
A lot of Fionas.
Lots of Fionas. It was a popular name. What can I say?
In 3 different worlds.
But yeah. It's, if anything, it's just another reminder of the fact that what these kind of conditions are doing and how unforgiving in a lot of aspects this kind of environment is. But anyway, you reach the end of the shift. Tired. Maybe still dwelling on some things from the night before. But Finney's waiting for you.
Where? Like outside the gate?
I was thinking I'd wait for you guys at Faulkenheimer's, the meeting place.
Okay. So you make your way to the street.
So no, we haven't really nailed down who my other contact is, but I know we had talked kind of generally about it being a broker that Faulkenheimer utilizes.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to be here?
Yes.
Okay. Can we? I'm willing to spend another point if I need to, but can I have been chit-chatting with him when the others arrive?
You know what? Yes, go ahead and spend that void point if you would
Okay.
like to.
Do you want to name him? We can just call him Fiona too.
Well, Fiona 2 is... no, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Honestly, the only name in my head is Paula Abdul.
Bradshaw.
Doesn't have to be a man. Also, I'm not real picky.
No, I'm going to go with Bradley. Let's go with Bradley.
Bradley?
Brad Bradley.
So?
Brad Bradley.
It is so. Brad Bradley.
All right. What's a Bradster?
Brad Bradley.
It's funny to think, like I was talking to someone, like parents, like you do try to come up with a name that makes sense with the last name.
Mm-hmm.
So I met a guy whose last name was Kitchen.
Okay.
And his parents didn't want to call him Devin because Devin's like such a normal name, so they ended up just calling him Jevin.
Stop. Stop. Calling this guy out. Mr. Kitchen, what's up? Alright, so Finney is hanging out with Brad. He's kind of talking about some different jobs that are in the works. You know, I have this. Finney always has a couple different, you know. I was gonna say pies in the oven, but that's not really a saying.
Fingers and pies.
Irons
What?
in the oven.
Ew.
Irons, thank you. All right, yeah, and so he's got a couple things going with Marika, a couple things going for Faulkenheimer, and so he's pretty comfortable. He's as comfortable here as he is anywhere else, and he's sitting on, you know, whatever table that Mr. Bradley is, like the desk he's working at or whatever.
Well, it's by the edge of the street corner, so you're probably all both leaned up against a lamppost.
Perfect, yeah.
And just, you know, having a conversation, passing a smoke between the two of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
As he's just going, it's like, I'm gonna tell you, running with this the crowd that these people were meetings with. One of them took on the trebuchet
Oh,
and won.
yes, he did. I mean, not to talk like he's a hunk of beef, but that is a fine specimen of Morleyan coming up here. I don't think there's much he couldn't take down. He'd be a real feather in anyone's hat.
I say, given the fact that the rumors is that he was also instrumental in clearing out, moving the dead eels along the way.
You know, because it's you, Brad, I'll be a little more candid. I think there's some real good that can be done with these people. I think that they, you know, they walk the talk.
Well, if Faulkenheimer's already willing to sort of meet with them and say that at least that the bosses for the moment is a little interested in them, well, there they are now.
On the way walking up, I realized, oh shoot, we just came from work, so I'll take some of the like whale oil residue and like slick my hair back.
You mean from the little
yeah,
pouch each
the
of us
little
have in
pads,
our...
I'll like stick my hand, just rustle it around there, not too hard.
Right, just
Not
rub
too
it
hard.
around.
Yeah, and you boys want some?
That right there is why I cut my hair. Keep it short, never have to mess with it. Same state every day.
That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, Finney will stay next to Bradley on this lamppost.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just walk up. Evening, Finney.
Boys?
Hey, Finn.
I'll look. Say, who's your friend here, Finney?
This is Mr. Bradley. He works with Mr. Faulkenheimer.
Oh. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Bradley.
I'll try and remember what common decency is and social cues. Bradley, nice to meet you. And I'll hold out my hand.
Oh boy.
And then I'll wipe it. I'll wipe it on my pants. Hold it out. And then I'll look at it and say, "Oh, if you don't want to shake my hand, I understand. Never mind."
Probably for the best. I've been smoking.
Oh my, you're right. Thank you, Mr. Bradley. I don't want to send everybody up sky high.
Yeah.
It would certainly make tonight more interesting.
It's already going to be plenty interesting.
So, gentlemen, if you'll follow me, follows me, I should say. And he has a tendency to go with follows or lets and adds s's to things, and even words that don't need the s's and stuff like that with his conjunctions. So,
It's one of them.
yeah.
One of them.
Stops copies me. Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Brad takes you along, and you guys make your way towards one of the buildings. And there's a few very clearly like bottle streeters like lounging on the side of the on by the stairs as you guys are going to this building. Thicker, heavy set ones. Definitely some real bruisers as they sort of give you guys the look, but Bradley sort of gives like the way of "there's with me's," and makes
Just nod at him as we're walking by.
yeah. And sort of just nod as they go back to watching. One of them sees you, Angus, and makes the gives the gives a nice like sort of like fist pump of and then punch. Yeah. As you guys make your way up the stairs and inside, there's definitely like a few more what seems to be boxes with there's a lot of bottles in these boxes. And they've got like wax seals on the tops of them and stuff like that. They look like alcohol bottles, and they're all like in boxes and rows and stuff like that. And they seem to be like packaging them or removing the bottles. They're being very careful with removing said bottles. Whether it's because these are the goods, you got to be careful with them anyway. And glass breaks easily, or there's something else inside those bottles that might be a little more volatile. Who's to say?
I know which ones are volatile.
Anyway, you make your way up the stairs. There's a few more of the bottle streeters are sort of giving looks up there for a moment on you guys before going back to like their packing, unpacking sort of thing. And then he gives a knock at one of the doors. Faulkenheimers, it's Bradley's. Got the guys. Send them in, Bradley. And he opens the door and waves you all in into there. And you go into the office, and aside from the rest of the building, which seems a little more run down and stuff like that, Greg's office seems to be not necessarily opulent, but it's definitely nicer than the rest of it. The desk is nice and solid. He's got like a nice gas lamp, a few gas lamps lit up so that there's actual light to see what he's doing. And he's going over a number of documents on there, and still, like he was dressed in when you last saw him, nice suit, blue tie, purple shirt, and a few rings on his fingers as he's going over some details and seems to be penning something with a quill, and he taps it out and puts his fingers together as he appraises all four of you, as Bradley goes and takes a seat in some chairs by one of the oil paintings, which is what seems to be a depiction of the painting itself seems to be a depiction of whalers trying to stab at and capture a whale.
Cool.
Yep.
Reasonable.
Mm-hmm. So it takes a look and goes, "Please have a seat." And he gestures, and there's like a few chairs spread around. There's nothing like all like right in front of where he is. But
I mean, if he says that, yes.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah,
Faulkenheimer.
Mr. Faulkenheimer, thank you for meeting with us. And I'll take a seat.
it's about that point you realize, like right by the door, where almost like there's a tall Morleyan, and when I say tall, I mean Morleyans are usually tall. He's tall but thin, like a very thin sort of man, and he's almost you're all like looking up at him. He almost looks like he's like 7 feet tall. He's having to crack his head down from the ceiling almost a little bit, but he's so thin that you're almost like you're not sure if he's even like healthy or real, almost just from how thin he is. And he's got his fingers like all tapped together in an almost like reverse pyramid sort of position as he's looking down at you under very sunken eyes.
I swear we just keep meeting creepier and creepier people. I
Yep,
just don't
that
get
is
it.
definitely the truth.
Yeah, I was picturing Lurch.
Yeah. A very thin Lurch.
Yeah. Or what's the giant from Twin Peaks? That's what I'm picturing.
I got
Super
you.
skeletal. Okay.
Mhm. But very clearly a Morleyan, and it's amazing you didn't notice him, despite how tall he is, until you started to sit down. And Faulkenheimer does not seem perturbed by him.
That's
So
And this man is definitely, despite you crane his neck down a little bit and stuff, but his beady eyes are sort of sliding around between the four of you, despite the fact he hasn't moved.
if Faulkenheimer like hasn't said anything in a couple of moments, I'm gonna look at Angus and like kind of like, like nod, like, you know, hey.
well. Thank you for meeting with us, Mr. Faulkenheimer. I'm sure Mr. Reynard has already come to you and explained some of the situation, but I'll go ahead and reiterate. My friends and I were hoping to get that weapon shipment for you, and well, your guy in the financial district, he wants half of it up front.
It's been quite some time since we worked with Mr. Morton.
The civil district.
Oh, thank you, Finney, for that.
With those little finger guns.
Yes, it's been quite some time since we've heard much of anything with that. You had mentioned to me at the fight that you had been interested in proving yourselves as reputable people to my establishment.
Yes, sir.
This would be a good show of that faith. How much is he wanting in total for the shipment?
We were able to talk him down to $3,500 up front and $3,500 on delivery.
7,000 coin. When will you be getting this shipment?
Getting the coins leads us to it. So as soon as the money's available, he did not seem to suggest to us that it would be that long.
If I gave you the money tonight, when and where would the shipment be?
Heck, we could do it tomorrow if we wanted.
Does he have the goods for tomorrow?
We don't know.
You seem to impart upon us that you get it together quickly. So I believe that if we were to have the money tonight, we could
Possibly make contact with him tonight. He gets it going, gets us done quickly.
Maybe have the weapons tomorrow.
Yep.
Can I make a study carefully roll?
Yes.
I want to see, is he going to do this with them? Is he buying into what they're saying? So, do you think my negotiate would come into this?
You're not actively negotiating it. Well, actually, no. You're watching them negotiate. I would say it applies.
Okay. Oof, 2 failures. I have no idea.
The thing is, you've usually worked through intermediaries.
Mm-hmm.
You've never really been in... I mean, you may have been in the room with Faulkenheimer once. You've never actually seen him actually do, like, negotiations.
Okay.
He's a hard man to read.
Okay. So
And maybe even to Finney, the fact he's got this guy that's just standing in the corner who's just has not moved. And I have to reiterate, he has not moved a muscle since you guys have come in.
I mean,
aside
blinking?
aside from the movement of his eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing, and you haven't even, and you're worried he might not even be breathing.
So I'm not getting anything off Faulkenheimer. He's, plain-faced, very serious.
Mhm.
Finney's definitely not uncomfortable with that.
Mhm.
That doesn't really even read to him as kind of an issue. So he's definitely aware of this tall, strange man. Can I do another study check with my void and see if I think that maybe there's something weird about him?
Mhm. Void won't apply, but you can definitely roll in another study carefully on him.
Okay. And I don't think negotiate would apply to this one.
Nope.
Okay.
So this isn't like Leviathan Punk, like there's no cyborgs or that kind of thing, right?
Not yet. Anyway.
All right, I got
All
a
right.
Got a success. As you're sort of eyeing him up, He has not moved a muscle, and that takes a lot of body control.
Okay.
And it's like he's very. I mean, it's not like, you know, even it's like even if someone's like in meditation, there might be a moment where they sort of adjust or stuff like that, or anything sort of uncomfortable. You can obviously tell he's breathing. It's very light. But the fact he has not moved a muscle other than his eyes is disturbing, but not uncommon to someone who's very well trained.
Okay.
And especially given the way he's just standing there and seems to be almost in the prime position in the room to get to just about anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking he's despite the way his build is not, despite his size, does not seem like he's very strong. He might be like an assassin or something.
Okay.
But you're not entirely sure.
Is Mr. Bradley still in the room?
He is.
Okay.
And Bradley is totally relaxed.
So I think I'm going to use Bradley as a litmus, and if Bradley looks calm, I'm not going to get too worked up.
Mm-hmm.
So Finney's going to, after he kind of says, you know, a couple little things here and there, he's going to quiet down.
Anyone else want to try to get a read of the room or try to get a read on Faulkenheimer? Or?
So the room is Faulkenheimer, this Bradleyson, and
Brad Bradley.
Brad Bradley.
And this,
Tall, scary dude.
yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of interested in seeing if. Well, no, I am interested to see if he's actually even going to let us give the money up front, or if he is going to be, you know, telling us to go find it ourselves.
Yeah,
It
that's
kind of seems like
probably the only part of the
Yeah,
thing I'd be worried about is does he
And-
seem to be holding anything back?
yeah.
Well, that would require a study carefully on him, but
Actually, could I study carefully to see if he thinks if that 3,500 is too much or strange at all, or if I get that that's the
yeah,
right
you
amount?
can do that.
Alright.
So for my study carefully, I have a success and a 20.
Wow.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I got a 1 on my study carefully to see.
So that's 2 successes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And-
you study carefully, and you've got a 1 and a 20. And
Not a 1,
wait,
a success
sorry,
and a
a
20.
success and a 20.
I got 1 success, I should say.
Okay.
And I'll roll. I don't have any like, extra points in these skills, but I will. It makes sense that I would at least look.
So rather
No.
than helping each other, this is all drawing our own conclusions.
Yes.
So it's all,
Yeah, it's
Correct.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So, did you get any
No,
successes?
I didn't get anything.
Yeah,
Which makes
you're-
sense.
Which makes sense. You're kind of you're in whatever mode you're in, so
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. Either you're more focused on Faulkenheimer and trying to sell this thing and trying to ignore the guy in the corner, or
I'm
whatever.
desperately trying to scare the tall man in the corner.
And let's see here, what should I go with here? Okay, so let's start with the interesting success and the complication.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be considering something.
Okay.
Whether it's you know, you're not entirely certain whether it's a consideration of his of you guys coming in with the happening to be in contact with the guy from their shipment, or what exactly. But he doesn't seem like he's written you off as this is going to be like he's not going to say no. You have a feeling he might ask more questions. As
Yes.
for the complication,
Okay.
Trying to think what would be a good complication for trying to do that read. That's the problem in here. It's like sometimes there's not really a good way, and the only way I can resolve it is add chaos to the pool. But I don't want to rely on that too much.
The tall man stands directly behind him and over
I
him.
was debating on something being unnerving about that. Yeah, I'm just gonna add chaos to the pool. I can't think of anything creative right now, unless someone has an idea
Okay.
they'd like to pitch as far as a complication is concerned. As for you about the money, your one success. It's a... He doesn't seem perturbed by the amount. Whether that means it's just about right, or maybe it's a bit much, hard to say. All you can really say for sure is that the amount of the money that's being asked for isn't bothering him.
Perfect.
So he rolls. He thinks for a moment. He's still got his hands TP'd for a moment. I've worked with Mr. Morton for quite some time. I know he's very fast with being able to get his goods together, but I do not believe he'll be able to get everything done in a day. He usually does not start gathering his materials until cash is in his hand. Or coin is in his pocket, I should say.
That's fair. He told us that.
Well,
I would expect that he would be ready within 3 days.
then that's when we'll get it done.
We can take the money to him. We can take the money to him tonight. Shouldn't be too hard. Get it over to him. Tell him, hey, we're ready for the shipment. In 3 days' time, you'll have
Or
your,
whatever time frame he gives us.
Yeah. Whatever time frame, you'll get your guns on that day.
I think I found a complication.
Oof.
I don't like that, Michael. No takesies backsies.
I'm going to put my chaos away because Mr. Aquila.
Yes.
May I inquire as to your vocation?
Mine? I was an explorer by trade prior to coming to Dunwall.
And your profession in the rebellion, or the insurrection, I should say.
My profession within the insurrection?
Yes.
I guess I would be blubber cutter. That's what I'm doing now.
I'm not asking what you did when you were in Coldridge Prison, Mr. Aquila. I asked what you were doing for the war effort.
For the war effort. Well, anything I could. Nothing in particular. For me, it's brought me back from exploration. I haven't been out in a couple of years. Are you leading me down the path of asking why I was in the prison?
It's just interesting to me. That a man such as yourself would have been able to sneak into a location such as one of the higher nobilities that had been stationed in Morley and walk out relatively uncaptured, except by leaving maybe one or two things behind. Such things either leads to a tremendous amount of skill or dumb luck. Which do you think that is for you?
I assure you it was not dumb luck. Incredible planning, as we've done in every action we've taken since we've been here as well. Thoughtful, concise, accurate.
I don't like the chaos chips moving, Michael.
Michael's finally found where to put them points.
As you're talking, there's a sudden movement from the man in the corner. And right at the back of your chair, there's a knife. Right close to your temple, almost cutting your ear with swift precision.
Oh, God.
Exactly like that. That's the way we've done everything.
Damn.
Okay. Okay.
You want me to
I'm
do
going
some
to
kind
have
of a...
Yes, you're going to have to make a roll for this one.
All right.
Let's go. Let's talk. You're definitely
Yep.
talking, and I think you're talking boldly. I think here because you're definitely trying to either boldly or cleverly.
We have no momentum in the pot.
No
correct?
momentum in the pot. You can always add chaos.
So we will start here. Okay.
You can always spend void points.
I'm going to spend a void point to get myself 3 successes.
Okay. I will add 1 to the momentum pool for that. So.
And I do not move my hand to touch the knife.
Yep. But how do you feel on the inside?
On the inside, I can see that this person has serious skills.
Mm-hmm.
That was not a near miss. He hit exactly what he was trying to hit.
Exactly.
I could take him.
And the worst part is he moves so fast.
I didn't see where the knife came from.
Where it came from, and his hands are back in its position.
Bitchin'.
Yep. Faulkenheimer looks at you for a moment. He then looks at the man whose his eyes are only his eyes have moved once again to look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a head tilt. Greg gives a nod and then goes, well, at the very least, I might find some useful some use for your skills in the future should this job prove fruitful.
That's good to hear.
3,500 coin up front.
You realize we're not asking for that for ourselves.
Well, he snaps his fingers for a moment. Bradley gets up and moves to the painting where he reaches around the corners and pulls so that it swings out, and there's a safe behind there, and starts obscures your guys' vision as best he can as he.
From my side, Desmond is not going to take his eyes off of Faulkenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, when he made those connections, I'm still connected with him.
Yep.
Because I don't care where the money comes from.
Yep.
Can I make eye contact with the big scary guy?
Yes.
I'd like to wink at him.
Okay. He does not wink back.
That's fair.
I want to
Mr.
tell a joke.
Faulkenheimer,
try
could
to
I
get him to
possibly
laugh,
speak
but-
freely at this point? We're doing business together. You should know a few things.
He doesn't stop you.
Okay. I'll take that as a yes. The rebellion shouldn't be over. It should not have ended. And I think it should start again. And I'm curious, were it to start, do you still believe in the rebellion?
He pauses. I believe the rebellion caused more trouble for us Morleys who are trying to establish ourselves, make our own who are the trailblazers here in Dunwall.
So a rebellion starting again, or any sort of unrest, hurts your position, would make it not as profitable for you.
If you're referring to the potential agreement with the Ball Street Gang and the Hatters, I believe Mr. Fallon and I already came to an agreement that would be discussed at that time. I am not interested in discussing these matters before then.
That's not what I'm talking about.
It is what I'm talking about. Mr.
Understood,
Aquila.
sir. And I'll shut my mouth at that point. I've always obviously been rebuked.
That's a good call.
when they bring out the money, I mean,
Yeah.
they offer it to anybody in particular. If not, I'll make a motion.
He brings
Gimme,
like
gimme, gimme, gimme.
he brings like there's a point where Bradley like brings out he brings out bags, and it's he seems very specific. He's bringing out like small like pouches, and it's like he's adding them up. It seems it's been already like they've determined how much is in each one of these bags. So it's 500 a bag. So it's 7 bags go down, and each bag is maybe about I want to say like maybe
A grapefruit
size or something like that. Weighty coins and stuff like that. He goes. Now there's a question that was still unanswered. Where will the weapons be delivered?
Where do you want them delivered? The delivery is yours. We're doing this work for you. We're willing to take the chance to bring it where you need. Our understanding was there was difficulty with some people connected to you doing the pickup. We're replacing them. But consider us loyal and working for you in the same way.
There are some dock hands that are under my purview that I'd like you to take the weapons to take the shipment to. They will have the second half of the money in exchange for the weapons.
Understood.
Dock 87.
And will they be sporting your colors?
The people on Dock 87 are mine, whether they sport my colors or not.
Understood, sir.
Excellent. Tell us. We'll bring it there. Nice and simple. Everyone gets what they want.
Very well.
May I bother you with one more question? And I won't speak until he responds. If he doesn't respond, it's going to die on the vine.
He doesn't say anything, but he gives a gesture.
There's some form of movement. Okay, good. The Greaves Lighting Company. Do you have an interest in it yourself?
You've been working at the Greaves Lighting Company, no?
Yes, all 3 of us have.
Tell me, what's the majority of the workers there?
Yours.
Would you say I have a vested interest?
I would say you have a vested interest. That would be working. Do you have a direct interest in it? Or is everything from your workers? Were it to change hands, would that create issues?
That depends on whose hands it goes into and whether or not aspects that I've put into place are renegotiated or not.
That answers my question very clearly. Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, I say we pick up the money and go.
All
right.
And I'll go and pick up the money.
Then the tall man moves again, but this time more slowly to reach the door handle, turn it, and bring it. And you realize that's probably the reason you didn't notice him before. He was on the other side of the door as he pulls it.
And he disappears? Are you saying he's no longer in the room with us?
No.
He'd open the door for us to leave.
Yeah.
Perfect. Then if I see that, I will stand up, pull the knife out of the chair, blade in my hand. As we come to him, I will literally hand it. See the other end of the blade. Half first. My brain's not working.
Handle?
Handle. Thank
Hilt.
you. Handle first. Hilt. There we go.
Handle, hilt.
Dear God.
He's slow.
And it's like almost slowly he like grabs it with his fingers and takes it from you.
Mhm.
And
I release as soon as I think he's got control of it. I will release and pull my hand away
he's
from
had
it,
control of it.
and I will give him one nod and walk out.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll kind of come up behind Desmond, and I'll, I have daggers also. I obviously not as good as you, but
He's just staring down at you.
do you have like shifts? Like, do you get off shift at any point?
I'm not stopping walking.
He
As
doesn't.
we're going out, I'm gonna like kind of put my hand on Vinny's shoulder and say, "Vinny, let's go.
It was nice to meet you. You too. See you next time, Falcon. And then I'll allow it to be pulled out.
There's a moment as Faulkenheimer just sort of like pauses at that as he like stares, watches you go, but then the door closes before anything else is said.
Yo, Valky baby, next time, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. That guy was tall.
Yeah, I think
He was.
He might have been taller than Trebuchet.
I don't know.
At least twice as scary.
I can't remember seeing a Morleyan as gaunt as that.
No.
I don't remember seeing a Morleyan move that fast.
You think
either.
Faulkenheimer keeps him hungry?
I don't know. Point is, we got the money.
Yeah, let's just head to the civil
Let's go
district
now.
and get this done.
Yeah.
You guys want to ride?
That would be wonderful.
Wait a minute. Are you
hold
gonna?
on. Who's driving?
The Gaunt Man's already in the
I'm gonna say Finny.
and the little girl is right there.
Oh my gosh,
Bring your
it's his daughter.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I had the thought. What was weird is the mom seemed normal.
Like Susie Baker Morley.
Yeah, no, I'll say, all right, this time I'm gonna be up front. I'm not letting this money go.
Fair enough.
All
I
right.
guess we're riding. It's not shotgun, but on the back.
Well, no.
How does this work, Finny?
Yeah,
gotta
that's
hang on.
are there? Yeah, right. We're back
Yeah.
to being outside
There's room
again.
for one person to sit inside the cab with me, and then there's a trunk area, which I guess you guys could squish into.
I'm not fitting. Well, actually, I could probably fit in the
You'd
trunk.
probably fit in the trunk. We don't
And then
have.
there's handles where you guys can ride on the outside like last time.
So, and
All right.
Maybe keep it a tad slower. Never mind. Forget it.
There's just nothing on Vinny's feet this way.
I'm pulling out
Once,
the
once you back away, Desmond will say, "Don't give him ideas." Oh my God!
Just make sure the money is tied down on your person somewhere.
It's not on mine.
Yeah, I got it up
Norton's
front.
got it
All 7
inside the
bags?
cab.
Okay.
Well,
Fair
I
enough.
imagine they gave us
7
like
grapefruits.
I imagine they give us a sack to put them in. They didn't give. Did they give us a sack to put these 7 bags in, or am I literally carrying 7 bags?
You got
Carrying
7
7
grapefruits.
bags.
All right, fine. I got 7 little bags, so I'm nestling those, and I have my gun in my other hand. And I'm gonna say, okay, Vinny, do you have a bag of any kind in here?
Define bag.
A burlap sack. I don't know.
No, I don't have a burlap sack.
You don't have a burlap.
My sacks are silk only.
While they are wasting time discussing in the cab, I am
Yeah.
getting the straps well in hand, wrapping them around, leaning up against the vehicle. I've ridden this way before.
I'll
Just
give
holding
you
on.
a satchel.
A satchel. Okay.
Normal holding on because
cool.
they haven't done this before.
And I did dump out some stuff first.
The correct term I should ask for was a satchel.
Yes. Let me empty that really quick.
Okay.
Just, like little shrunken
Knife,
heads,
gun.
knives, stick of dynamite,
Cudgel,
noodles.
brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Imagine the explosive symbol, except it's like a whale in the middle of it. So I'll put them all in the satchel, and then have the satchel on my lap, gun in my hand, hidden away from view. Well, Finny can see it. I don't care if Finny sees it. Actually, I'm gonna say Finny. Try not to go around corners too fast.
Yeah, all right.
Can we avoid some checkpoints if we can?
Sure. Let's see where we go.
Well, I've got to assume, since there are handholds on the outside of the vehicle, that it is not abnormal to have people on the outside of the vehicle.
Not necessarily, no.
All right.
Then I guess let's go. Well, okay. Let me ask you this: the checkpoints are only for like people actually moving product, like single...
I'm assuming the checkpoints are just literally that. If
Yeah.
they decide to check you, they step out, put their hand up.
That's pretty much it. They'll stop anyone they think is suspicious if they need anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop open the glove box and take out my family's signet ring and
Yep.
put it on one of my fingers.
Yep.
I'll trade it out for like a big old ruby thing. I'll
Yeah.
put that back in there.
Yep.
And then I'm going.
Fanny just has a collection of rings in the glove box.
Is that every single lord's house?
That is such a cool idea. Maybe. Maybe.
Back in the day, they used to call me the Mandarin.
Yeah, alright, and I'm taking off. Do I need to make a roll for it, Mr. Michael?
No. I only really have you roll drive if there's like a chase or something like, or if it's
Okay.
like sort of important.
Yeah.
Just describe how you drive.
Finney, remember, we're trying to be low-key.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
freaking maniac.
Rocking off at 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, think like drag racing on Adderall. That's what we're doing.
Except the top speed is about 25 miles an hour, but you people on the side
Yeah.
feel like maybe he's pushed it to 45.
I do take as few corners as I can, but that doesn't mean that I don't go like I don't
There
go
are
slower.
no-
Up the sidewalk,
Much-
straight through the middle
yeah.
of that
Much-
open door, and
much
out
like
the other
with
side.
much like with vehicles when they first started coming out and stuff like that, there are no traffic laws.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're taking the most direct shot,
Yep.
and hopefully you're holding on.
Beep, beep.
We're
Yep.
holding on,
we
as
have-
I said.
Do we have to roll
Yeah.
survive? I mean,
No, I'm not going to worry about that, but it is a pretty harrowing experience.
Yeah.
But this is the first time you've had to be
Nope.
in this.
And so it's after
However, I
work.
think this is the first time Angus has been on the outside.
Yeah.
That's
Uh-huh.
correct.
So Angus, it's just like, oh no.
this is fine. Everything is fine.
And Finney definitely steps on it once you
Yes.
start going downhill.
And the
So
whole
that the
time,
speed just keeps going.
I'm going to be talking to you about the tall man. You don't need to respond.
Don't worry, I'm not.
It's not like Finney breathes and gives you a chance to speak anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as we like careen into place in front of the Morton shop, I'm like, open the door, and I've never met someone that tall before, and how fast he was. I mean, I couldn't throw a dagger that
Oh, look,
fast if I
Finney,
wanted
we're
to.
here. I need
Oh,
you,
yeah.
Finney, could you please hop out and scout the area, make sure nobody's eyeballing us or followed us?
Scout, yeah, can do.
I think everyone's eyeballing us for a half-mile radius,
Yeah, I mean, 'cause I
half-kilometer radius, whatever.
I parked just directly in front of the building.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'll hop out and I'll look around to see.
Unwind my hands.
Yeah.
Doing a roll.
Step back. Stretch out the muscles a little. I got shotgun on the way back.
I forgot. We're in a new scene now that we're over here, so I have to take momentum away. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, that's the way the rules work. Anyway, so you get there and you look around. Doesn't seem like, I mean, especially with how fast you were, it'd be impossible for someone to catch up with you. Without.
Yeah. It's all according to plan, baby.
That's when the trunk opens up and out steps the tall man.
Steps out or like more like oozes out.
Slithers.
I mean, just call me Morticia. This is where it's going.
Anyway.
I mean, I'd be surprised at this point, but
Yeah,
It's
so
like an
I'll-
accordion.
So I'm gonna like,
It's like
tuck,
a slinky.
tuck my gun, away, throw the satchel over my shoulder, and then get out. My thumb will be in my belt, like close to the gun, but
Do I see you put the gun in your belt, or do you do it before you get out of the vehicle?
before I get out of the vehicle. I mean, you guys know I'm strapped all the time.
The sign
We
has
do.
I mean,
Motherfucking
I
psycho.
think so. I told
No, you haven't said anything yet that I know of, and we haven't seen it since you came back from the junkyard.
Oh, okay. Maybe you guys don't know that.
That's
I'm
why I'm
strapped all
asking.
the time.
I'm assuming
no.
I haven't seen it.
So there is so the sign up front has been flipped to close, but there is a light that seems to be as you peek in that seems to be coming from under the back office. So he's probably still there.
Anyone remember the special knock?
There
bam,
we
bam,
go.
bam.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if cop knocking is the right way.
No doorbell, and Angus just goes up and.
Fair enough.
So, there's a pause for a moment before the door opens and he peeks his head out. He seems a little confused for a moment, and then he comes up closer to you all, stares, and then seems to remember who you are and goes and opens the door.
Hello, Mr. Morton.
Good evening, Finney. I don't think I remember your names, but I remember what we discussed.
Can we come in? I don't like being on the street with this.
Come on in, he says as he waves you in. Closes the door behind you all.
I'll go to the nearest table or counter and I'll set the bag down so it's clear what's inside of it.
Mm-hmm. And he gets over there and he pulls one of the bags out, tosses it around, feels the weight, opens it real briefly, closes, and tosses in. He does not check any of the other bags.
Okay.
And he goes, "That the vehicle you're going to be moving the product in?"
It could be, yeah.
You think
Sir.
you can carry the shipment?
He's sort of giving it an appraising look for a moment. Be a tight fit.
We've had tighter.
We do have other options.
Well, as long as it's capable of, he sort of gives some dimensions. It's about maybe not quite as tall as this table, but just about as long as he gives that dimension. It's like, yay.
We can put a seat down.
So 2 to 3 feet tall, 5 to 6 feet long, and 2 to 3 feet wide.
I mean, is there such a thing as tow hitches in this world?
Oh, I think
I don't think so.
I'll look at you. I'll say, we got this handled. We'll be able to fit it.
You guys have to re-steal the granary vehicle.
How does this keep happening?
I have an idea.
This time you just dump all the grains.
I
They didn't even want the grains this time. They just took the truck.
Some men just want to watch the world burn, Michael.
Some people just want to see me add to the chaos pools.
Yeah, I can assure you, Mr. Morton, the vehicle is of no consequence.
All right. Should be able to get this stuff together in the next 2-3 days.
How do you let us know?
When does he want the shipment?
As
3
soon as
days from
possible.
now.
As soon as possible. He anticipated 3 days. If you
That
do
was
it
his
in-
expectation, having worked with you comfortably before in dealings that he was positive about.
He sort of nods slowly. The payment's supposed to be with his, the second half's supposed to be with his boys.
That is our
Yes.
understanding.
Yep.
He nods. Then you'll get it in 3 days. If
Excellent.
that's what he's expecting, then that's when he's going to get it.
So, like, we meet you here, or...
He goes, "Oh, no, I'm not having the weapons here in my office. There'll be some people on the corner of 27 and Wales.
Okay, Michael. Okay.
All right. Can we take a chaos from him?
Gotta be careful there. There's a lot of oil on those streets."
One wrong step, boom, sky high.
What time should we be there?
Aim for about 10 o'clock.
Can do.
Right.
Done and done.
We'll be there.
All right. Then we'll see you later. As I say is in Bradley's voice, sorry.
I'll go up to him and I'll hold my hand out.
And he'll shake.
And as I grip and I'm say, Mr. Faulkenheimer thanks you. Let's make sure this goes off without a hitch. We can get some more jobs done.
Well, if he's sending people, as long as he's willing to send people not wearing the colors or anything like that, it's always been a pleasure working with Mr. Faulkenheimer.
So you've worked with him for, like, a long time.
Oh, for sure.
You know the tall bodyguard? So you've been working with him for a long time?
he pauses. I know no one on the audio side can see my facial reaction, but he sort of like stops and his eyes sort of like widen up. And there's a moment where he takes his handkerchief out of his head and he starts patting his head for a moment. And he goes, you mean Carl?
Finney takes out a little notebook and writes Carl, just surrounds with a big heart.
All right, Finney, let's go. Mr. Morton, thank you so much. You don't need to talk about that man anymore.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Carl Smalls.
Okay, let's go, and I'll usher Vinny out.
I will allow myself to be ushered.
And I think that's where I'm going to end tonight. So.
Come on. All right.
All right, that was a good one.
All right. So
Thank you,
on
Michael.
to XP.
Thank you for listening to another NCRP Productions podcast. We value your support and would love to have you like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all at NCRP Productions. You can also find our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, or wherever great podcasts are found. We value your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave feedback and comments. And if you want to reach any of us directly, we are available at ncrpproductions@gmail.com.